into your mind. You can catch your heart. It can happen. You can mend your heart. You can feel the soul apart. You reach. It can happen to you. It can happen to me. It can happen to everyone eventually. Okay, hey y'all. Yeah, I had to go back a little bit. Old school, yes. Believe the album is 90125. Awesome. Okay. Anyway, hey, and happy holidays to everybody. And I'm gonna try to keep looking in the camera. This is kind of crazy, but anyway, hope everyone had a wonderful holiday, and looking forward to New Year's and starting off 2014 and on a positive note. So here I am again, and we're going to talk about something positive. Thank you, first of all, for everybody's positive feedback from the last video, and this is number 2, so we're going to keep up with the positive vibe. Today, I wanted to talk about doing better, and of course, which is what I always want to talk about, do better. But the one thing that I've noticed, since I have a lot of time on my hands, I do watch TV, I've noticed negative perceptions of women, you know, just people in general on some of the reality shows. So I took down some notes and we're going to talk about that and see if, as a whole, we can all just do better. So here's, you know, I've got my notes here. I'm looking. So do women in general curse, yell over each other, talk over each other, don't listen, not friendly towards one another, and not supporting each other, rolling of the heads, disrespecting everyone, and just not being supportive? Is that really reality? I don't think so. And just a few shows that I wrote down, and I'm not dissing any show because of, you know, I've been watching them, but I was watching Bridezillas, Vanderpump Rules, the Housewives show. I'm not even going to name which county, and there is one TV talk show host that's a male that I will not even mention because I don't even want to give him any press, but most of his audience appears to be African Americans, and it is just a hot mess. You know, what do you think about when you watch these shows? Besides shaking your head and saying, oh my God, I'm glad it's not my daughter or my son or anybody that I know, what do you think about? For me, I think about those poor people's parents or whomever raised them. They have to be just sad. The negative perception, whether we like it or not, is there. One thing that I wrote down was, you know, I'm assuming that most of these people are compensated some type of way for their appearance on these shows, whether it be a talk show or a reality show or what. They're compensated in some way. But is it really worth it? I mean, truly. Not only do you know the premise of the show, but you go on there anyway and make yourself look bad. Women in general, and if it's men that are on the show, then you're making men look bad. And creating stereotypical views of people like me that, I don't act like that. So my message is, stop. If you know people who are going on these shows and are so excited about it, try to talk them out of it. Ask them, you know, what is it that you're going for? Is it 15 minutes of fame? Because it's not even 15 minutes of fame. It's 15 minutes of being embarrassed. And if there's not a positive vibe about the show, why go on it? I want to be a positive role model to my daughters and to every other young woman who comes into contact with me. I want to be a friend to my friends with no strings attached. You know, I don't want to talk over people to get my point across. I want to be able to listen and hear their side of things. I want to be able to communicate. And that's what I try on a daily basis to do. So the more we contribute to these television shows, it seems like the worse it's becoming. I mean, at some point in time, we have to stop. Now, would a television show based on the positives that people in the US do, would that be something that would get ratings? I'd watch it because I love inspirational, motivational shows that get me pumped up and say, hey, if she can do that or he can do that, despite all their challenges and all their struggles, then you know what? Maybe I can get up off my butt and I'm going to try and do it too. Which gets me to my next point. Well, I do understand that, you know, people have challenges. And trust me, I know, because I have mine. But you don't see me on Facebook, on Twitter, or on these YouTube videos complaining and throwing all my business out there. As a woman and as a mother, my job is to handle each situation the best way that I can and then move forward. And then learn from it and help someone else who might be going through something that I have. That's my responsibility, to give back. What are these young men and women on these reality shows giving back? And I mean on television. What you do off camera is great, especially if you're, you know, donating time to charities and whatnot, but that's not what we see. So can we kind of turn it around and make what we see the positive influences? It's just something that's been really kind of getting to me, because I don't think that's why we were put on this earth to, you know, make fun of ourselves. So here we go. If you know somebody that's going on one of these shows, tell them to do better. They can do better. If it's $50 in a hotel room that they're getting, they can get that someplace else. I mean, I could use that money, but, you know, I want to leave a legacy, not a reality show where someone is yelling and screaming and I'm doing the same thing. That's not going to happen. I'm taking a look at my notes here. You know, making yourself be perceived as unbecoming is just that, you know. Making that impression, that first impression, whether it's first, second, third, whatever, whenever you're on television, that's what people see and that's what they remember. So just like you're going to a job interview and you want people to take you seriously so that you can get this job of your dreams, why can't we all start representing ourselves and presenting ourselves the way that we want to be perceived? How do I want to be perceived? As a professional, as someone who is caring. I want to be perceived as the best photographer that you've ever had, because I am. I want to be perceived as a great mom. I want to be perceived as a very dedicated, loyal employee. And that's what I am. So it's even more than being perceived in a way. It's actually going through and walking the walk. So we can all do better. I know that I can do better, and that's why I keep making these videos. I want to be, the best mom. I want to be the best photographer. I want to be, I don't know. I want to be a lot of things, and I still have time. So I'm going to pursue every single dream that I have, and I'm going to remember that everything I post on Facebook, everything that I post on Twitter, everything that I post on YouTube gets out there. And I don't want anything negative to keep me down. So that's my message today. I think, here we go, I'm looking. I think as a community, if all the negativity on the reality shows that are depicting women in such a negative light would stop and focus on the positives that these women do every single day, then, it would be a breath of fresh air. We don't need to focus on the negative all the time, because you know what? If that's what people see on television, then they think that that's normal. And that brings me to my next topic, which we'll talk about later. What's normal? Things aren't the same today, and I know that, as they were when I was growing up. But, I was brought up to respect my parents and not yell at them and not act as if they're, I can talk to them like they're my friends, which I see that a lot today. It kind of bothers me. Anyway, so what do you guys think about that? I think that we can do better. If we stop contributing to these shows, we might have more positive role models for our children and ourselves. We might become better role models if we stop focusing on the negative. So there you go. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great new year. Today is Thursday, and so probably the next time I do a video will be 2014. I'm still looking for a job, so if anybody needs a photographer, give me a shout. And have a great and safe New Year's. Take care.